Thank you so much. Brian Harris and the New Thought Messengers. Hello, everyone. Oh, I love that. Let's do that again. Hello, everyone. Hello. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, my word, how I love you. I am Shannon O'Hurley. I get to be your senior minister here at the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living. And I want to welcome all of you here in the room and those of you online joining us. Welcome. So glad you are here with us this day that love itself has made for each one of us. And if you are joining us for the first time here in person or online, if you're new or newish, you're dipping your toe in, know that you are more than welcome here. Our welcome is just this huge, gigantic, soul-filled embrace. We've mindfully and we have thoughtfully created a place just for you exactly as you are this day, right now, this moment, this breath. So with that, let's take a deep breath. As together we acknowledge that we are on the ancestral land of the Kalapuya people, and we affirm indigenous history, experiences, and sovereignty. Please know also that if you are new, we have all kinds of information on our website, newthoughtcsl.org, just all the things. We're doing many, many things, are we not? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We also have a packet here if you want to take one with you, for those of you in the room. You know, every week we have an opportunity to anchor our time together by sharing with one voice, as you are comfortable, our vision and our mission. So let's do that together, those of you online as well. Our vision. Recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation. And our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. We have such a blessing today because today our beloved practitioner and ministerial student Shelly Walker is going to be giving the talk, which means I get to go to church, which is so exciting for me. I have so much deep respect for the wisdom that lives within this woman and the way that she shares it. So what a blessing. So with that, let us all take a deep breath as we move into this time together, this time that is God time, spirit time, the time of the cosmos. What a blessing it is to be here in this time, in this reunion of souls, if you will, here at the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, this place of kindred spirits. I am so grateful for this place. I am so thankful for this opportunity to join together here in person and online, to share in this love, to deepen in this love, to experience this love called by so many names, God, Spirit, Source, love. And so it is from this place of love, with a heart that is wide open, that I give deep thanks for practitioner Shelly, knowing that each one of us hears just what our soul brought us here this day to hear, to open up to, and to experience. I give thanks for our extraordinary music ministry. I give thanks for the beautiful, beautiful, competent, loving souls that take such good care of our children and our teens. I'm so grateful for our beloved production team bringing all of this online, bringing it all together. I'm so thankful for the many hands that create this day for each of us to experience. And so it is from this place of grace and deep gratitude that I bless our time together. I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. I allow it to be, and so it is. Blessed be, blessed, blessed be. So this is the time where we get to have our spiritual practice. I had to look at Shelly for a second. This is that time, right, Shelly? Yes, this is when we do this. I love being here in this way. Oh, how good it is to be together. So I invite everyone just to take a deep breath, those of you here and those at home. And as you are able, please stand, recognizing that this chant is prayer set to music. So I invite you to participate in whatever way feels right for you, allowing the words to wash over you.
We land wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Let's do that one more time. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Let the peace wash over us. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. Let the joy wash over us. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. Let the love wash over us. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. And so it is.
The reading this morning is from Morgan Harper Nichols, entitled, Let July Be July. Even here, you are growing. When August is approaching and you feel a little restless, thinking about how this month might end and how this year might end, and how you are supposed to start again. You are growing. You are growing in grace, courage, strength. And it is okay if it does not feel like it. It is okay if there are moments when you cannot see the way you have grown. Because far beneath the surface, the seeds have still been sown. The ground beneath your feet is still a bed of new beginnings. So much is changing around you, but you are changing too. Let July be July. Let August be August. And let yourself just be. Even in the uncertainty, you don't have to fix everything. You don't have to solve everything. And you can still find peace and grow in the wild of changing things. So it is.
Thank you, John. That was lovely. Now let's let Darcy Bradley be Darcy Bradley.
The best. This is the start of something new. I think it's coming into view. Don't ask me how, but I can see clearly now. Leaving my footprints in the sand, too soon to tell where I may land. Now I've unwind, and I can bear anyhow. I can hear it. Destiny is calling me to give into the river and let it carry me away. Dance with the audacity, find triumph in the tragedy. On my quest for answers, I won't rest until I say, now that hope is intervening, there is music in the meaning. Maybe you think there's nothing more, like you have seen it all before. You've lost the thrill. What happened to your will? Whether it's something to achieve or just somebody to believe in, all you need's a little respite from the suffering. Can you hear it? Destiny is calling you to give into the rhythm and let it carry you away. Dance with the audacity, find triumph in the tragedy. On this quest for answers, do not rest until you say that hope is intervening. There is music in the meaning. Now that hope is intervening, there is music in the meaning. Come on, Adrian. Well, I can hear it. Destiny is calling me to give into the river and let it carry me away. Dance with the audacity, find triumph in the tragedy. On my quest for
Darcy Bradley, Brian Harris, and the New Thought Messengers, and another, yet again, Adrian. Tasty solo, my dear. Wow. Hello, all. It is so good to be with you today. I want to start by thanking Reverend Shannon for trusting me with the podium and the microphone thingy. I want to thank our online moderators this morning, Annette Nelson and Kelly Bastian. It is absolutely sacred and holy work that y'all do. I love going back on Sunday afternoons and watching the comments in the chat. Y'all crack me up. So I also want to just say hi to my beautiful sister-in-law, Krista, is with us today. Krista, thank you so much for coming and bringing your kids. It's been 17 years since Krista and the kids were here, so it's family on steroids at my house. Our topic for the month of July is Ignite Your Soul. Oh, there's a cute puppy over there. Our topic for the month of July is Ignite Your Soul, and today's topic is the fire inside. We're talking today about one of my very favorite spiritual principles, and it's this. Truth known is truth demonstrated. Truth known is truth demonstrated. So what does that mean? Back in the day, I would come home from high school and I would grab a snack and plop down on the TV and turn on Oprah. And that was the closest thing to church I had in those days. You know, that was when she was starting to bring on Gary Zukav and Michael Beckwith. And I didn't know New Thought existed. I was in the South. I knew Southern Baptists existed. That was it. And I was one, for the record. So, and she would talk about those aha moments. You remember? The aha moments, those aha moments where you learn something new and you have that moment of, and then your brain starts to like think about it and process it. And eventually your heart starts to believe it too, right? And then you embody it and you're able to live from it. You have in that process gained a new truth. And what happens when we gain a new truth is it automatically outpictures in our lives. Truth known, not just known, but known, is truth demonstrated. That's what we're talking about today. So, everything that we do around here is predicated on this idea that truth known is truth demonstrated. When you, at the end of the service, the practitioners will be here available. If you have a prayer request, they'll pray with you. When they pray with you, they are knowing a truth, and it becomes demonstrated in your life. Truth known anywhere is demonstrated, right? So every prayer that we pray is predicated on this idea. Every principle that we teach is giving you an opportunity for this kind of demonstration in your life. So I'm going to invite you to think about a place in your life where you have shown some growth. Where have you had an aha moment? Maybe you, in the far distant past, way long ago, maybe you used to struggle with relationships. Maybe. And maybe now you've learned to be a better communicator, and that truth known has demonstrated in your relationships. Or maybe you've become better at asking for your needs to be met, or better at setting boundaries. And that learning that truth automatically outpictures in your life. Or maybe in the really distant past, you used to struggle with trust. And maybe you've learned to trust yourself, and so that's outpicturing in an ability to trust the world, not live your life as if you're waiting for the other shoe to drop forever. You know, we all have places where we have grown. All of us. I was very shocked recently to learn that I am a very patient person. Shocked.
I've talked about it several times since because I'm just flabbergasted. You see, I was a very impatient person in my young adulthood, probably my childhood too. My impatience now, in the wisdom of my 50s, I can say that my impatience was stemmed from a trauma response. I had a lot of things getting triggered, and so I would just lash out, right? No, none of you can relate to that, I know. And then I had kids. And when you have that little trusting being looking at you, you are become literally willing to do anything not to hurt them and not to hurt them intentionally. God bless him with my first child, John. You have turned out so well for the mother that you were given. When he was a newborn, I looked at him and I thought, well, how am I going to mess this one up? You know. By the time I got to Alex 15 years later, it was like, oh, here you are. Let's go play, you know. So John raised me. Thank you, John. But it was that willingness to literally do anything to not hurt a child that helped me to learn how to be patient, right? So I was very impatient, like shockingly impatient, like got kicked out of a restaurant once impatient, right? So imagine my surprise when my adult daughter informed me that I'm a very patient person. And then 3 days later, the home health nurse who comes to our house to give our wee lad a weekly IV infusion, she said, you and Michael are just the most patient people. I said, really? Tell me more. And then, I kid you not, 3 days later, one of you said it in the hallway. And I thought, okay, Spirit, I have a thing with threes. Whenever something comes in front of me 3 times, it's like Spirit giving me a big old high five. Like, way to go, girl, you've got this. Pay attention because it means something when I hear something 3 times. So apparently I'm a very patient person. So truth known is truth demonstrated. I learned a new truth. I learned how to be patient. I learned a new way of being, and it automatically outpictured in my life. I didn't work hard over here to make it happen. I just did the inner work. And in this case, what the inner work was unconditionally loving and accepting everything to the best of my ability all the time. That's some work. I will let you know. But here's the thing. When you are engaged in that work, the demonstration automatically appears. Ernest Holmes said, the saying of peace will not produce peace unless back of the word is a realization of the meaning of peace. I love that Holmes used the word realization here. Realization comes from a French root that basically means to make something real. Anything with eyes, mechanize, realize. Anything with eyes means to make it a thing. Right? So when you realize something, you can realize an inheritance, and then that money no longer is someone else's, the money is yours. You have realized it. So when you realize something, you own it. It belongs to you. So according to Holmes, when you realize the meaning of peace, then the word has power. You can do something with it. So in order to become a patient person, I had to build within myself a realization of patience. And this wasn't something that I was doing out there. I didn't think to myself, wow, I wish my daughter thought of me as a patient person. I'm going to be real patient with her and fix that relationship. I didn't do anything out here. Didn't even have anything to do with faith. She just noticed. But I did the inner work. I focused on the inner work, the beingness. I had to ask myself, what does patience look like? What does it feel like when I do have it? Where is it located in my body? When I'm feeling impatient, how do I locate patience in my heart and in my mind and in my body? Very slowly over time, you begin to build a model for yourself of what it looks like for you. And once you have that model, that mental equivalent so firmly entrenched in your mind, it automatically outpictures. That's how life works, because truth known is truth demonstrated. So it also works the other way around. You can look at your life, and what you see in your life right now is the culmination of all the truths you have ever known. Isn't that lovely? The beautiful relationships you have, that's a culmination of all the truth you have ever known. And if there are places in your life that are a little kerfuffly, as Reverend Shannon likes to say, it's kerfuffly over here, areas where you might like to have a different experience, that's okay. You haven't failed at truthing. It's just time for you to recognize that there's a higher truth calling you forward. There's a better truth that suits your life now that maybe wasn't available to you in the past. But here's the mistake that we humans just love to make. We see an area that wants to be healed, or we want a new thing over here, and we just go straight in and start fixing, don't we? We're going to work on that relationship. Or, God bless us, fix that person until that relationship is better. Or we scramble around trying to find that solution to our financial problem, or we vow to do 50 crunches every day to do something about this area. It is such a natural and human tendency to want to fix the thing that is bothering us out here, where we see the thing that is bothering us, and that's not how it works. Because until we do the inner work, the outer work will never stick. The healing happens within. And then once you do realize that new truth, then it demonstrates out there. So the practice becomes simply this. Notice. Notice the things out there. You can't pretend they're not there. I tried. It doesn't work. But once you become aware of something that needs to be changed, don't rush to fix it. It's okay. You can do that. Michael, you can do that. Don't rush to fix it. Instead, simply ask yourself, who do I need to be in order for this to change? And then you be that. Your behaviors change once your thoughts and attitudes change. And your thoughts and attitudes change when your identity changes. When you identify with truth, when you identify with spirit within, when you identify with your highest wisdom self. But the change always happens in that order. It starts with your identity. Who am I willing to be? And then your identity informs your thoughts and attitudes. Your thoughts and attitudes inform your behaviors, and it's your behaviors that make your world. That's the order it always happens on. And it is all predicated on the question of who am I willing to be? All of it. Your doingness will automatically change when you learn a new truth of your beingness. And please don't get me wrong, this is not an armchair activity. This is not beingness instead of doingness. This is beingness before doingness. This is taking a few moments at the beginning of your day to get still and focus on who you really are. And if you aren't sure yet, all the better. Take that time to get to know the divinity that is your purpose and your birthright and your soul. And then live from that. Just doing the next thing, as Carl Jung taught, while being in your true nature. And it's a practice. Thich Nhat Hanh said, if we want peace, we have to be peace. Peace is a practice, not a hope. Peace is a practice. Patience is a practice. Compassion is a practice. But here's the thing, it's not some airy, fairy thing out there in the ethers that you have to strive for or beg to come into your life or hope that you achieve someday. No, these are qualities of the divine that already live in you. You have been peace in a chaotic situation. You have. Somewhere in your life, you have had a moment of peace in chaos. You have been patient in the face of adversity. You have shown great compassion, a compassion that passes all understanding. Sometime in your life, you have done these things. And there is nothing outside of yourself that can be more peace. The way to bring more peace is to be more peace. That's it. You already have it. But you do get to exercise it. You get to build the muscle. Because here's the fun part. Life gets lifey. And you will have to know how to access that peace, that love, that joy in the face of your triggers. You know what I mean by triggers? Have you ever had a time in your life, or have you ever known somebody who seemed to walk with their triggers like as clothing? And like there was nothing you could do to not push their buttons at some point? Our triggers. Our triggers are old wounds. They're old misunderstandings of who we are and who spirit is and our relationship with it, right? Our triggers can sometimes be new wounds, new experiences happen, and we say, ouch, oh, ouch, that hurts. And if we don't deal with that hurt, guess what? Trigger. And it's right there. And life will push that button, Darcy Bradley. Life will push that button. So our triggers are our old, unhealed woundedness. I learned something really interesting this week. There's an MRI study that came out, and y'all might already know this, but I just learned about this week. An MRI study came out, and it showed that the brain lights up in the same way when it's processing physical pain or emotional pain. You process emotional pain the same way you process physical pain. That surprised me, because I have said right here, I have stood here and falsely told you in the past that your emotions can't actually hurt you. Guess what? I was wrong. They hurt. According to your brain, they hurt in the exact same way. But you know what we have for physical pain? We have whole entire systems in our bodies to deal with it. Endorphins rush in and immediately start numbing the pain. The immune system chugs on in and starts taking care of any foreign invaders that come in, right? And our body has entire systems that are dedicated to simply coming back into harmony with itself to the very best of its ability, right? When we have physical pain, we have all of these mechanisms for dealing with it. With our emotional pain, it leaks out our face. It gets tucked into a dark corner of our heart. And then boop, trigger, right? Or sometimes it lodges in our body. And then it creates a physical pain sometimes. Our emotional wounding, we don't have the same kind of systems evolved to handle them. And that's why our spiritual practice is so important. Some of us, when we're first learning to meditate and pray, we get intimidated by the amount of stuff that bubbles up. I can't sit here. and we pop out, right? Here's the thing. Those are invitations, not punishments. When those thoughts bubble up, it's an invitation. It's Spirit showing you what needs to be paid attention to. And it's okay. It's okay. I've been meditating for 20 some odd years, and there are still days where it is all this. For however long it takes. That's okay. That's Spirit showing me that, okay, I'm going to meditate longer. I'm going to get grounded. Anywho, back to triggers. Life will show you exactly where your growing edge is. How many of you know what some of your triggers are? Like, I know what some of my triggers are, right? I know that I get triggered by hurting children. To be fair, I think every healthy adult gets triggered by hurting children. So if you have that, that's great. I also have a trauma response that is tied to hurting children. And so, like, I get really triggered by hurting children. Like, God bless my husband when we're in an airport and a baby starts crying and he has to, like, put his hand on my leg. That baby has parents that are handling this. You don't have to do this. Because I get triggered by hurting children. I know that I get triggered by, how do I say this? Holier than thou righteousness really triggers me, like a lot. I know that I feel more triggered when I'm in AA. They have a beautiful saying. They say to watch for when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And I add, which is halt. That's when you need to stop and pay attention, right? Halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. I add overwhelmed to that. So it's halto over here. Halto, you're getting triggered. You've got a button pushed. It's not truth. It's an old wound coming out to say hi. It's not the truth of you, and it's not the truth of the world. Did you know? Another fun fact I learned this week. Reverend Shannon, you're going to love this. There is something that is the opposite of triggers, and it's called glimmers. Glimmers. So, and it's exactly what Reverend Shannon was talking about last week. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the July 9th talk on YouTube. She explains it so beautifully. She spoke about how gratitude is deepened into inspiration when we enter into the reciprocal nature of life. Gratitude deepens into inspiration. So there's this beautiful candle, right? There's this beautiful flame here. And when I take a moment and take a sacred pause, and when I open my heart with gratitude first, and then I become fully present and give it that pause, then it starts to speak back. And you become inspired with beauty and wonder and awe. And that's just a candle flame. You should do it with a rose. You should do it with a baby. I have seen grandparents do this like naturally. They take that time. Often I see them to recognize the wonder and the magic that is this human being before them. And they're fed by that, right? So gratitude opens your heart. And your attention is what brings you fully present in space and time. And when you give it this sacred pause, the result is inspiration and wonder, and it circles back and it feeds you. So Reverend Noel, our beloved Reverend Noel, liked to say that what you appreciate grows. What you appreciate grows. There's a character in a Dickens novel, and if any of you can tell me what character it is, dinner's on me. There's a character in a Dickens novel, and he's described as leading chin first into the world like he's looking for a fight. Can't you see it? Like just when Dickens says that, chin first. He walks through the world chin first. Have you ever known people like that? They're looking for a fight, right? Well, what if we led heart first? What if we led gratitude first, heart open wide, looking for the glimmers instead of the triggers? That doesn't mean we don't deal with those old wounds that need to be dealt with, but it means we lead from love. We lead from grace. We lead with gratitude. Ernest Holmes said that your mind should swing from inspiration to action, from contemplation to accomplishment, from prayer to performance. This would be a well-balanced existence. He said, the spirit fires the soul with energy and understanding. The soul vitalizes the body and animates all that we do. The spirit fires the soul with energy and understanding. The soul vitalizes the body and animates all that we do. If you are feeling soul tired, I know that feeling to my bones. And my heart is with you. And the antidote for soul weariness is God. It's allowing spirit in. It's leading with an open heart so spirit can fire our soul. I remember Michael Beckwith was here once, and we were doing a Q&A, and someone asked him, she said, I'm recently retired and I'm bored out of my mind. And he said, well, are you going to be retired or are you going to be refired? And I have thought about that when I have been tired in my soul, that it's time for me to be refired, to be reignited. You know, Jesus talked about the hands of the potter. That's God that does that. That's God that enters in and refires our soul. One way to do that is to develop a practice. Let's just call it glimmering. I like to add ing to words, Reverend Shannon. We're going to call it glimmering, walking the world for heart first, leading with gratitude and taking the time to stop and be with what is in front of you. And let the beauty feed you. So here are your takeaways for today. We have 3 takeaways. First, truth known is truth demonstrated. If you want to gain a greater truth, first stop identifying with the woundedness and begin to identify with your wholeness. You can do it in a split second. Oh, that's not the truth of me. Oh, love is the truth of me. Yeah. Number 2, once you have decided to identify with your truth, you connect within to your unique and holy beingness, and your thoughts and attitudes and behaviors are going to automatically change, and then your life changes. It starts with the beingness. Number 3, I invite you to consider this week, instead of identifying with your triggers, take time to focus on your glimmers, those things that light up your soul. And your soul will vitalize your body and your heart and your mind. Truth known is truth demonstrated. There is a living truth within you, and it is vibrant, and it is powerful, and it is loving, and it is kind. This is your call to connect with that truth, to live from that truth, and to watch your world transform. Let's pray. I'd like to invite the practitioners to come forward and hold space for us. As we take a moment, with the next breath, you can close your eyes or cast them down, however you are most comfortable, to connect within for just a moment. To that place in you that knows truth when it sees it. To that place that recognizes that there is one God, there is one Spirit divine, there is one loving, beneficial presence. And it's infinite, and it's holy, and it's good, and its temple is you. How grateful I am in this moment to know that this God, this sacred love exists. How grateful I am to recognize that there is an incomprehensible love that is everywhere present, as long as I remember to turn my attention towards it. Yes, love, right here, right where I am. Love, where every person within the sound of my voice is. Incomprehensible love. A peace that passes all understanding. And grace. And in this place of love, I speak a word of so much gratitude and blessing on each one who is hearing this message today, each one who had a sacred calling, a soul calling in their soul that said, yes, today I remember, today I am reminded, and I choose to remember who I am and whose I am. That love is my nature and my purpose and my birthright. That joy is mine to choose. And as I walk this world, I choose to walk from love, from truth, from grace, from the living God in me. I am so grateful for New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, for a place that holds these truths to be so sacred. And I bless the light that is this community. I bless every community in all places all across the world that celebrate this love, this truth. I bless every person who is looking for it, and may they find it exactly where it is, right where they are. God, love, peace, patience, right where they are. And so for all the hurting places, all of the hurting people, all of the hurting and hurt institutions, for every worker on strike, for every tired mother, for every worried human, I speak a word of grace. Knowing that truth will have its way in this world, and that, as the great Dr. Martin Luther King said, love will have the final word. And as each of us stands in our willingness to be that love, it is made new on this planet, for ourselves and for each other. And so, in this love, I am so deeply grateful. I'm grateful for God in the midst of it all. And in this gratitude, we let it be. Blessed, blessed be. And so it is. And so it is. All right. Thank you.
Oh, Shell. Thank you so, so much. Truth known is truth demonstrated. Isn't that powerful? And what a demonstration here at the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living. You know, there are three things that I can tell you that I have heard, Shelly has heard, and every practitioner here has heard at some point. One of the following three things. This teaching has supported my healing. This teaching and this place has changed my life. This teaching and this place has made my life better. One of those three things. And those three things happen because of all of you. As a nonprofit, we can't do this without you. So I want to take a moment and acknowledge this truth demonstrated. How great thou art. To be able to support this kind of work, this holy and sacred work in the world that truly is living our values out into the world. So I just give so much thanks for all that you give. This is the time where we get to pay it forward, where we get to contribute to this holy work and this collective good in the world. So I want to thank all of you so very much for what you give. Thank you for those of you who pledge monthly, for those of you who text to give, those of you online. I invite you into this if you haven't already. It's just such a powerful thing to be part of this circulation of love and healing and changing and growing and truth demonstrated. So with that, I invite you to take a deep breath, and together with one voice, let's say our blessing. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you, and thank you for all you give. And now, Darcy Bradley.
I'm not about to give up because I heard you say there's gonna be brighter days. There's gonna be brighter days. I won't stop, I'll keep my head up. Nah, man, I'm gonna stay. There's gonna be brighter days. There's gonna be brighter days. I just might bend, but I won't break. As long as I can see your face. Well, I've gotta hold it steady, keep my head in the game. Everything is about to change, everything is about to change. This hurt is getting heavy, but I'm not about to cave. Everything is about to change, there's gonna be brighter days. I just might bend, but I won't break. As long as I can see your face. See your face. When life won't play along and right keeps going wrong and I can't seem to find my way. I know where I am bound and I won't let it drag me down. No, I'll keep on dancing anyway. When life won't play along and right keeps going wrong and I can't seem to find my way. I know where I am bound and I won't let it drag me down. No, I'll keep on dancing anyway. No matter what may come, gonna move to a different drum. No matter what life brings, gotta move to a different beat.
Yes. Oh, I get to use a microphone today. It's a little bit out of my normal. Oh, thank you so much, Darcy Bradley. New Thought Messengers, y'all are on fire today. Yes? Wow. Goodness. I want to let you know really quickly, just two announcements. Our used book sale is downstairs. There's still books there from Reverend Noel's collection and many of us here, so I invite you to go down and check that out. Every book is just $2 this week. Well, thank you, Carolyn, for letting us know that. I also want to thank those of you who registered for our fall community retreat. Thank you so very much. We will be having it. So thank you. Yeah, and if you haven't yet registered for that, please do. It really helps us plan. And as we get closer, we will revisit it as well. But it's a great way to secure your spot and have it done and let us know. So thank you very much for that. I want to thank all of you who chose to be here, who are glimmering your way through this life with us here at the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, and those of you online who have joined us today from Colorado, California, Florida, all over Oregon, and Germany. We love you so very much, so very much. I also want to again thank our online hosts today, practitioners Kelly Bastion and Annette Nelson. Thank you so very much. Know that those of you online, there will be prayer after service, and please avail yourself of that. Annette and Kelly are amazing human beings who will pray with you. All the information is in the chat box. I'm going to invite our practitioners who are here in the room to come forward, please, if you will. They will be available here after service to pray with you as well. And all you do is you just go up to them after we clear out this place. This area turns into sort of a meditative place. And if there's anything on your heart, you just let them know what's on your heart, and they'll take it from there. And you will leave feeling loved up. Speaking of love, let's bring practitioner ministerial student Shelly Walker up again. Thanking you so very much, dear one. Thank you so much. Oh, so nice for me to go to church. Thank you, sister. With that, let us all stand as you are able, please, and join me in this closing blessing. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light, until we meet again. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are so loved. Go glimmer. Yes. Love you.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm